We are going to study established regressive assimilation of voice. So far, we've analyzed cases of established progressive assimilation of voice. We saw the realization of plural morpheme, preterite and past participle morpheme, genitive case, realization of weak forms of is, has, and the third person singular morpheme. And when we studied those cases, we could see how one sound affects the following one. If one sound is voiceless, the next is voiceless too, for economy of effort. Or if one sound is voiced, the next is voiced too. These cases are progressive because one sound affects the following or the next one. Now we have established regressive assimilation of voice because in this case one sound is affecting the previous one, not the following one. To understand this, let's read the following text and pay attention to the words in italics. I suppose they use this type of material a lot, as it has a special texture which not many have. I suppose they know it might produce cancer though, or at least that's what I heard on the news last week. So we pronounce suppose, the verb suppose, use, the preposition of, in this case of, has, have, news. But what happens when these words are used in other contexts? Specifically in these contexts you'll see in text number 2. Of course, he's supposed to do it. He has to do it whether he likes it or not. I don't think I have to tell him over and over again, do I? He used to be much more reliable in the past, and now it gives me the impression he's used to doing whatever he feels like it, and I simply won't tolerate it. Anyway, the newspaper goes into print in 2 hours' time, so let's get a move on. So, in text number 1, we pronounced the preposition of. We said this type of with a voiced fricative v. But when we say of course, we don't say of course, we say of course. So, we can see that the consonant sound has changed. The voiced fricative v has changed into the voiceless fricative f. Why? Because the next sound is a voiceless consonant, k. For economy of effort, v has become voiceless, so we have 2 voiceless consonants together. We say this is a case of established regressive assimilation of voice. Established because this has become obligatory in the language, fixed. Everybody speaks like that. Regressive because the voiceless sound k affects the previous one, which is v, and has become f, to become voiceless too. And it's assimilation of voice because it has to do with the state of the glottis, with the vibration of the vocal cords. In this case, the vocal cords are not vibrating in k, so they are not vibrating in f. So when you say of course, you pronounce it of course, of course, of course. And it's the same case with supposed to, supposed to. So when you use it in isolation, you say suppose. But when you use it as in supposed to. When you are supposed to do something, you say supposed to, supposed to. So you see that the voiced fricative z has become voiceless. S, supposed to. Okay, what happens with the verb has? When you use it in isolation, you pronounce it has. But when in the phrase has to, the voiced fricative z becomes voiceless. He has to do it. He has to do it. And it's the same case with have. The voiced fricative becomes voiceless. I don't think I have to. I have to tell him. Have to. And when you use the verb use in isolation, you pronounce it use with a voiced fricative z. But in expressions such as used to do something, to express habit in the past, he used to be much more reliable. Look, used to, the z becomes s, used to. He used to be much more reliable. He's used to doing, he's used to doing, used to, he's used to doing, right? And what can we say about the noun news? In isolation, we pronounce it news. You listen to the news, right? But when you say newspaper, some people pronounce it newspaper. Because of the voiceless p, they pronounce that z, they make it voiceless. Newspaper. While some others keep the voiced sound. So in the case of newspaper, some people pronounce it newspaper and some others newspaper. Both. Both options are okay. So to sum up, we have established regressive assimilation of voice, or established fricative devoicing, because it's the voiced fricative which becomes devoiced, which loses voice, because the vocal cords don't vibrate, in the following phrases: have to plus infinitive, as in we have to do it; has to plus infinitive, as in Tom has to do it; to be supposed to plus infinitive, we are supposed to do it. Okay, there, if you wish, you can drop this t. This is supposed to. You can drop one, right? And say, when you say supposed to. Used to do it. Used to plus infinitive. He used to do it. To be or get used to doing something, or to get used to something. For example, we are used to doing it, or we are used to the weather. And in the expression of course, and newspaper. And you should know that some people say newspaper as well.